Hi everybody, that's Allie.
And that is Dash,
Welcome to our playdate.
where we choose a game, sometimes make up our own rules, and play for a while.
Enjoy listening and playing along.
Or don't. We can't hear you. It's a podcast.
Yeah,
That's delightful.
Yes.
that's going to be real
I thought
fun.
that was your laptop. I thought that was the thing you had on your. I'm like, all right, man, hell yeah.
Just
But
the sticker on
it's
my
like, yeah, it's a-
laptop.
Yep, that's why I'm like, oh, I like your. But no, that's
It's
the game.
the
we're
game,
playing.
yeah.
Awesome.
The
All
the
right,
real
cool.
question is, how am I recording on my laptop, but you can see the back of my laptop?
You know, I never know. I never question those things.
Yeah. All right, so we are here with Anthony from Improv U, Little
That's
Ghosties.
right.
Hello.
Hi, Anthony, and Anthony's joining us via Zoom from the magical land of North Florida. Central Florida?
Central Florida.
Central Florida.
Central Florida. Yes,
It's a very big location.
it is. It is. But just like it is. No, it is. It's very big. It's way bigger. You know, I always like when you're in South Florida, you can only go in three directions. You know,
Right.
because if you go east, it's just water there. So there's a
Yeah.
whole section, a whole direction you can't even go in.
We
But
call that
here
a
in Central-
coast.
Yeah.
What'd you say? How'd you say it?
Coast?
Co-West.
Coast.
Like the thing
Interesting,
that you put
interesting.
your drink on, but without the So it's a coaster, but
Without the
you take out the part and it's a coast.
Interesting. I
Yeah.
call that the shore.
The
shore.
The shore.
Oh,
The
got
shore.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
So it's just
but yeah, no. So
show.
now you can go in any direction. Is my point.
Right.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
There's so much in every direction.
And so many directions, because now east northeast is a possibility.
Oh,
Southeast southeast.
We could just keep naming
Southeast,
directions for the next
just
half hour.
directions.
northeast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anthony, you do comedy. You do
Some say that.
some say that.
It says that on the website.
Yeah, so we met Anthony because he runs Improv U, and one of the main protagonists of the the Palm Beach Improv
Of
Festival.
the improv universe.
Yeah, yeah, it does a lot of improv, and we've played with Anthony before. We did a thing called Beards one time.
Yeah, Beards was fun.
Yeah, where we all played together.
Yeah.
Remember that one? It was in like the back room of a kava bar.
Yes,
What's the
I love that.
what's the
that was one of
wildest
my-
place
honestly,
you've
my favorite
ever done improv?
The wildest place. You mean like? Okay. Well,
The most non-improv conducive place
Yeah.
that you're willing to admit on audio.
strap in. I tell this story sometimes to scare young students. No, I was invited to perform at a corporate gig.
Yeah.
And back then I'd never really done a corporate gig, and it paid well. It was like $100.
Hmm.
It was, when you're like 6 months into improv and someone
Right.
asks you to come and do a corporate, I was like, this is amazing.
Right.
At the time I was with Sick Puppies and I was performing with Aniela. And so Aniela was like, oh, she was going to be at this gig too. So I'm like, oh, great. I get to perform with Aniela, who's a fantastic improviser. I'm like, this is going to be amazing. So the gig was at Lord and Taylor.
Like the
in Meisner
store.
Park. The store.
Ah,
They
yeah, I was
were
like, that sounds familiar. Yeah, okay.
I don't know why, but I was under the impression they were having a fashion show of some kind, and we were
Mhm.
part of this show. Okay.
Wow. Improv and fashion.
Turns out not the case. Turns out it just happened to be a sale that they were having at Lord and Taylor. And I don't know how, but the person who was in charge of booking gigs somehow convinced Lord and Taylor to have an improv troupe perform short form improv
Oh my.
at the bottom of an escalator.
Yes.
So there we were, three of
Yes.
us, myself, Aniela, and I forget the other gentleman who was with us. He wasn't like a performer. He did a lot of corporate like gigs like this, but he wasn't
Okay.
like a person who was, and there we were just kind of saying, hi, excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Hi. Oh, yes. Hi. Would you like to see some short form improv? Like we were selling perfume at the desk.
Right.
It was the most awkward, most embarrassing, one of the most embarrassing experiences. The next time I got called to do a gig, I I was told it was for Golden Corral. And I was like, wow, that's great. Corporate
Okay.
gig for Golden Corral. That's
Yeah.
huge.
That's got to be like their executives and their
Mhm.
higher up people.
It was just literally at a
It
corral
was
made
at
of gold.
I would have taken that. But no, this
Yeah.
was I get there early, and the person who put the event on was in the private room. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay, so we're in a private room, but we're at a Golden Corral that is open to the public, and the public are currently eating at this Golden Corral. And I'm like, okay, well, that's not too bad. Well, it turned out that it was actually it wasn't a Golden Corral corporate like event.
It's just the
You know
Golden Corral.
You know the company Bath Fitters?
Bath
Do
fit.
you know
I
what those people
missed
do?
that. No.
Okay, they take your existing bathtub and shower situation, and they just overlay and seal off your old bathroom with a new bathroom, which is all made of one unit, kind of like you'd find in like a cruise ship.
Mm-hmm.
So they
okay.
I don't know. Yeah, that's a company.
they just
They're called
shove
Bath
your
Fitters.
old bathroom into a wall, and now you have a new
just kinda
smaller
cover it.
bathroom.
Hmm.
Yeah, they
That's-
just kind of cover it.
okay.
It's like if you put a mask on Dash, you just cut with a different face, and you're like, that's your face now. That's what but Bath
they
Fitters
face off
does.
bathrooms.
Interesting.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And so what was happening was the bath fitter people were busing senior citizens in to give them lunch and then try to sell them on their services.
Oh my.
And we were there as the entertainment, but they all didn't fit in the private room. So we had to do it out in the public in the middle of a Golden Corral. I am doing
With like
neutral.
general customers.
Not only that, but we're standing where the because there's wait staff
Of
at a Golden
course,
Corral.
Right. Yeah.
And they're running drinks. So I'm literally doing a scene. I'm like, I don't know, Dad, that might be. Oh, pardon. I don't know, Dad, that might be. Yeah, craziest. But you know what I said? I was so hungry to like get experience, and like I'm like, okay, this sucks, but you know what? We're getting forged in fire.
Yeah.
If we can do this, we can do anything. We got to be able to work that muscle, that embarrassment muscle.
Right.
And I have to say, I feel like I can do anything.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Those
what
are
corporate
my-
gigs are for. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Now that's not how I do corporate gigs, but that's the corporate gigs that were presented to me.
Right.
The person who put them on is a very nice person, paid well, always a person of their word. I'm not discouraging anyone.
Sure.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
what a nightmare.
But
What a
it's
night.
also like dating, right? Like you date someone, the first person who likes you or whatever, and then you date them and you're like, "Oh, I don't like that. I'm going to choose something different next time." And then
Sure.
eventually you figure
Yeah.
out what is a better choice.
Yeah. Right. What you're
Yeah.
looking for. Right. Yeah. I can't remember working a single corporate gig where I didn't feel like I had to take a shower afterwards. Like,
Or where you're just like attacking people who were just like
Right.
they're just
Yeah.
trying to eat some
Right.
biscuits and gravy.
Yeah. yeah.
And you're like,
Yeah.
hey, tell me a thing. So you go in your junk drawer, right? And you're rustling around in there. What's in there? And they're like, biscuits and gravy
yeah.
that I'm trying to
just
put in
here
my
really,
mouth.
sir.
Thank you.
I have to be here for work, and
Right.
I don't like it. And
Yeah.
I don't like
I
you.
was not
And you're like,
expecting this. I
Yeah.
remember
Yeah.
I did we went to a synagogue one time, and it was a corporate gig that we were getting paid for. And it was up in Broward, and it was we didn't know what we were getting into, but we got there, and it turns out that it was an event that they do at the end of one of their religious festivals where they just like party for 10 hours straight.
That's honestly a solid
Yeah,
setup.
yeah. I mean, I'm not even going to pretend that I know what the festival was or why they were partying or how long they were partying for. All I know is you walk in and it's a giant ballroom and it's filled with tables, and they literally had one act after another, after another, after
Yeah.
another. So we were just another act that was going on. I
That's
think it
awesome.
was like some dancers or something that were on before us, or some singers. I forget what it was. But we went on and we had 20 minutes to fill. So we did a bunch of short form improv. But I remember that not a single person. It was a huge ballroom. We did not have mics.
Yeah.
They had one mic at the front of the stage because I guess they thought it was stand up. But then we show up and, you can barely hear us past the first rows of tables. So
Yeah.
we're out there and we go to do, and we're walking the crowd and we're trying to get suggestions. I remember at one point he goes, "Sir, can I have a place where you would gather?" And he's like, "Don't ask me. You're the funny ones. Make with the funny." And we're like, "Okay, we are out of our. Let's just get through this."
Yeah.
We
That's
did it.
funny.
We had a good time, and I think that's the takeaway from all that, right? Is your experiences, Allie's, mine, like everybody's experience. Is just as long as you have a good time, walk away with
Yeah,
that as the positive.
Every audience is different.
Yeah.
I did a show in a great place that was perfect for plays and musicians, but terrible for improv.
Right. Yeah.
And it was for, a retirement community,
Yeah.
and they were like all in the back. And so you had to project like 50 yards before you ever even got to their ears. And it's just like, okay, we're going to practice, volume.
Yeah.
We're going to practice projecting. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Right.
And you cut your teeth and you get forged in these things. It's why you guys can just do shows anywhere and crush, because you see it in your performance,
Yeah. That's a lot of what we do. Yeah. Thank
Thank
you.
you for the
I'm gonna go
compliments.
off. I'm trying to cut myself off because I've already I will sing your praises over and over again.
Okay.
I do want to say
that's
this.
Really, what this podcast
Is that okay?
about.
Is that okay with you? Yes.
No.
When I do corporate events,
Mhm.
but when I do corporate events, it's more like it's more of a team building, and they're all involved. I don't really do shows
Mhm.
Yeah.
for groups,
Sure.
and I definitely don't try to have them come up and do things in a show,
Mhm.
even though sometimes they say that's what they want. I just talk the client out of that, because I know ultimately how it's going to go.
Yeah.
There's going to be maybe 3 people that would want to do it,
Yeah.
maybe more, but I don't know that until I get there. And I'd rather not promise that. And then when we're there and everyone's like vibing and we're like, great, let's go crazy. And we can now, I'd rather back into that
Right.
than try to present it and then get everyone on board. But I'd rather just be like, okay, here's how we do things. I do things like, we discuss different topics, and then I have exercises and activities that illustrate those points.
Right.
So I share a little bit of our process. I always tell people what I'm going to show you is the work that improvisers do in private that make us successful in public.
Yeah.
And that is more my speed, more how I like to show up for companies. But man, give me an Escalator Lord and Taylor gig any day. I can do it better now.
Escalator Lord and Taylor. That should be our punk band.
Yeah. Are Lord and Taylor's
That's
even still
such a
around?
good name for a band.
yeah, Escalator Lord and Taylor.
Lord and Taylor.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Like
That's a
almost
sweet,
rhymes?
yeah.
Right.
Plant rhymes?
Yeah.
It's like a sweet metal band name or something.
Yeah. A little bit like a ska band almost. Yeah.
Yeah. So if anybody wants Anthony to do some corporate stuff, we'll have all his info and all the stuff in the description. But should we get to this game?
Yeah. Let's do the game thing.
So, Little Ghosties, we're playing Dissent. We played it on the pod before, but we made up our own rules because there were only 2 of us. But now that there are 3, we can really play this for real.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So, just to refresh everybody, we choose a topic card. One person agrees, one person disagrees,
Right,
as
and
also
we-
drawn by opinion cards.
Right.
And then
There are opinion cards that are drawn at
judge-
random.
the judge decides whose argument was more valid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, I think we should have our guest.
I believe so too. Yeah.
And you go first. I feel
Okay.
very judgy today.
Yeah, I think we could do at
so-
least 3 rounds so that way everybody gets a chance to
Agreed.
do one of the spots.
Agreed.
So Anthony, I'm going to go ahead and shuffle through these cards here. Just go ahead and say stop whenever.
Stop.
Okay. And Anthony has picked the topic
Sorry,
of.
my microphone fell.
So here's your topic card. Gift cards are a thoughtful gift. Gift cards
Okay.
are a thoughtful gift.
And your position is agree. So you agree that gift cards are a thoughtful gift. You have 1
course.
minute, and
Yes.
then Dash,
And then I will get
you
to
will
disagree.
disagree. Gift cards are a thoughtful gift.
We don't know. We can't read minds,
Yeah.
right? We can't read minds. We don't know truly what people want. People can say, I want this or I want that, but we don't know if they're being honest with us. The most honest thing you can do, the perfect sign, a great sign of friendship, is to say, I don't know what you want, but I know you like this store. And what I want you to do is okay, did you ever see Home Shopping Network? or
Yes,
not
of
Home
course.
Shopping Network. What's the shopping spree
The
show?
QVC,
right?
HSN,
Oh,
all of
the
it.
shopping spree.
No,
Like
no. The one
uh,
where they're running through they're doing this move and they're
Supermarket
pulling all this
sweep?
stuff.
yeah, supermarket sweep.
That's the one.
Yeah.
It is a little bit of supermarket sweep
Mm,
for your friends, and that is
Ooh.
really what you're giving with a gift card. You're giving them the chance to go ham in the
Right.
store of their in the store that you chose. But that's all you're choosing is the store, the freedom. That's what a gift card is. It's
Time.
oh,
Freedom.
okay.
That's
All right.
beautiful.
That's beautiful. I like
And if
that.
they want to go ham and purchase ham,
Uh-huh.
they can do that. Okay.
And we'll discuss our true feelings on this topic after
Yeah.
we do the game
Right.
portion of it.
Okay,
But
so
now
Dash,
I have to disagree with
gift cards are not a thoughtful gift. We'll
Okay.
have 1 minute on the clock. Go.
All right. So I think that because this is too rigid a sentence, it gift cards are a thoughtful gift. What that implies is that every gift card is a thoughtful gift. And I think that statement categorically is false, and I would have to disagree with it because, as Anthony said, it's saying here, I know you like this store, but I don't know what to get you from this store. So you did at least put some thought into it. However, if you just give somebody an American Express or a Discover gift card or whatever those generic gift cards are, or a gift card to a random store that you're at, that to me doesn't say thoughtful gift. So
Mm-hmm.
categorically, this cannot be taken as a factual sentence.
And you rest?
I rest my
Okay,
case.
Great.
Yes.
So, thank you both for your arguments.
Thank you.
I truly have I've been enlightened. I've been illuminated. I have to give it to Anthony. I'm sorry.
Wow.
It does not say all gift cards are a thoughtful gift. It just says gift cards, which means in a general sense, all is not there. And also, I feel like there's updating your I want list and like putting your stuff on all of that stuff is work for me.
Sure.
Right? If you know that that I'm going to buy groceries.
Right.
So guess what? Here's a month's worth of groceries.
Right.
Right? Like
Yeah.
that's going to help out everyone. It's going to help. And also, you're not really participating yourself
Mhm.
in a culture of just buying things and throwing it away. You're giving that to a middle person.
Yes.
Here, I'm giving you this gift card, maybe even a digital one.
Yeah.
Now you go buy your own thing for you to throw away
Mhm.
later. I got to give it to Anthony. I'm sorry.
You know what? I'll be honest. I
Gift cards
had to
embraced.
disagree because that was my position that I drew. But I agree with Anthony, especially the part that you mentioned about the mini supermarket sweep or whatever. That hit very close to home. My brother and I, when I first started working, so I'm the type of person that if I ever come into money that I wasn't expecting, I like to spend that on my friends and family as opposed to just myself. Just because like that's not money that I was expecting. This is just money that appeared out of nowhere. Let me share this bounty with my friends and family. So when I first started working and I didn't really have bills yet or any of that stuff, I used to take my brother to Walmart or Target or wherever. And I used to be like, all right, you can get 3 things valued up to this amount of money. Right. And we would just do these little shopping sprees or whatever, just for fun. So for my birthday last year, he gave me a Target gift card. And now that he has moved away to Orlando, we can't do the shopping spree ourselves, but he gave me the gift card. He's like, so this is a mini shopping spree. Go to Target. And the only rule is you can't buy something you need. It cannot be like food or, oh, I needed a new shirt or like if you have to say to yourself, oh, I need this thing and now I have the money for it. You can't buy that. It has to be something frivolous that you just see and you like and you enjoy.
I love that.
That's a beautiful statement.
Yeah.
That is nice.
Are you team gift card?
I'm actually not.
Really?
Wow. We both had opposing positions.
I want to say this. I loved your argument because you attacked the sentence. You attacked like it's like, well, you can't say this like of all. You're right. So, but so for me, I get gift cards as gifts, and I have given gift cards as gifts.
Mm-hmm.
But the question was, are they a thoughtful gift?
Right.
No, they're not a thoughtful gift.
Mm-hmm.
What you're doing is thoughtful. Going with your brother, saying,
Right.
you are the gift card in that way. But I'll tell you this. my best friend Kyle when it was his like I don't know. I think we were like 16 or something.
Mhm.
And I was like, hey, for your birthday, I got $100, whatever you want to get, right? When we were,
Right.
it was a rare time. And we walked all over the mall and he never bought a thing. I'm like, you got to buy something. What are you doing?
There's a hot
was so
topic right there,
frustrating.
dude.
I'm like, just here's the money. You know, like, so for me, I have like a weird experience. My experience was a complete opposite of yours. But for me, a thoughtful gift is you make something handmade.
Mm.
You,
Yeah.
you know, I do a little bit of crafting and I love to make like little books, little sketchbooks. I love to give those to people.
Oh,
And it's
that's awesome.
It's just a fun. Yeah. I have one here.
Oh. Yeah, that's cute. That's a cute gift to give. I've started
Yeah.
making gifts for people. So.
Yeah, handmade gifts are
Yeah.
great.
That looks so cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I like
Wow.
bind these and I make them and I fold the paper. And this is all just like, you know, design paper.
Yeah.
A very
See,
frilly one, but it's, you know,
I view crafting as like, yes, I'm really doing it for the person, but I'm getting so much more out of it that it doesn't feel
oh yeah,
right. I
this
feel
is
like I
just a
get way more
byproduct
out of
stress
it.
relief.
Right. Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Allie's crocheting.
Yeah. Like you get more out of it. But to give it to someone and to give someone something that you worked on, but that's
Mhm.
the idea, that a gift should be something that makes you feel good. Like it made
Right.
me feel good to make it and it makes me feel good to give it. And
Right.
and that gift cards are great. Don't get me wrong. Everybody out there, if you're watching, if you're gonna give me a gift card, don't stop. Okay, don't stop.
Yeah, I'll take
Don't
the free
trust your
money.
gut
Yeah,
and
that's
get
fine.
that gift card. Yeah, I'm not gonna say no to that. And it's very helpful. Like I got a
Mhm.
couple gift cards to Lowe's and Home Depot recently because we moved, and those
Yep.
have been
Yeah.
you know
Mm-hmm.
invaluable, even though they did come with a value, but they have
Right.
been very important in
Yes,
the process.
they're very helpful. Yeah.
And who knows? Maybe you'll hit up a Lord and Taylor
Right.
with your gift card and just see an improv show there.
I find
Maybe.
the only problem that I have with making things for people is that sometimes I make it and I like it so much, I'm like, I kind of want to keep this, but I have to give it away.
They don't know. They don't know. It's not given to them yet. They don't
Right,
know
that's
it
true.
exists.
Yeah, I could just keep it and make another one.
Also, I don't think Lord and Taylor exists anymore, but that
Right.
wasn't our fault.
Noted.
Noted. All right, let's see what the next topic is.
So
this should
is-
be
We're rotating.
yeah,
Should I
we're
judge?
rotating. Let's do
Yes, you'll judge. You'll judge this one.
Okay.
Okay.
So Anthony will judge this one. So Allie, say when.
When?
All right. So Allie's topic is
This is yummy.
men are more irrational than women.
Okay.
Men are more irrational than women. And do you want to draw your position?
Oh, there's a lot riding on this draw right now. There's a lot riding on this draw right now.
Men are more irrational
I'm just
than women. Oh, I
whatever
really hope I
happens,
can agree.
everyone. I'm just gonna apologize.
It's going to be so hard to
Okay.
disagree with this.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay, so
All right. So Allie
I
has
feel
to.
better.
Allie got to agree. So Allie has to agree that men are more irrational than women. And you have 1 minute starting now.
Men are more irrational than women for the following reasons. They have created an entire system to perpetuate their own good feelings
Mhm.
and completely disregard any other truth until a woman has broken through and said, wait a minute.
Mhm.
For example, archaeologists found recently a bone that had 28 notches in it.
Yeah.
And for years, male archaeologists were like, well, obviously they were just, it's a tool, and it was a tool for this, and it was probably for this or whatever. Until a woman simply said, who needs to mark 28 days?
Mhm.
And suddenly everyone's mind was blown because the woman was looking at it rationally
Uh-huh.
and everyone else was just perpetuating their own weird thoughts. I yield.
Time. You don't have to yield. You're out of time. Okay. All right. So now I have to disagree that men are more irrational than this is going to be so hard. Okay. All right. And go. All right. I disagree that men are more irrational than women because men are brought up from birth, typically in a stereotypical binary society, that the only emotion that we are allowed to fear, that we are allowed to
Fear.
feel
Fear
feel
was what you said.
is anger,
Mm.
right? Do you love somebody? Anger. Pull her pigtails, throw rocks at her, make fun of her. That's how you show somebody you love them. Does somebody upset you? Hit them, push them, bully them, right? We're only taught anger. And
in the
what is
system that
more
you created.
in the system that we created? And what is more rational than having one emotion? Because if that's the only emotion you can feel, then you don't really need to ration anything. On top of that, in a system of nothing but rational men, think about all the great things we have accomplished. World War I, World War II, the Civil War, the banking crisis, I yield.
All the wars.
All the wars.
All of them.
All the wars.
Every
Look at all these
single
wars
one.
we could. Oh man.
Lots of
well,
wars.
I made a
Congratulations.
really pressing argument.
yes. Depressing.
Yeah.
Yes. Wow. Okay. Well, honestly, obviously, Allie wins.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously. But it's so interesting you bring that up. You said fear, and you meant to say anger, right?
Yeah.
You know, anger is never an emotion by itself. Anger is never felt by itself. Whenever you feel anger, you always feel fear, and you feel fear first before you feel the anger. But it happens so quickly that if you had to say what emotion you were feeling anger. Because I'm a big fan of nonviolent communication, which is a form of communicating, talking with other people about feelings and needs, which was invented by Dr. Marshall Rosenberg. Which, listen to the audiobook, go for the content, stay for the voice. The man's got a voice like a campfire wrapped in a wool blanket.
Oh,
You're never gonna.
that sounds lovely.
But it's so good. He says that fear is really what you're feeling when you're angry. When you're feeling anger, you're really feeling fear. So we are. And Allie, to your point, I mean, that's such a great. Men are incredibly emotional.
Yes.
As much as they're like women are emotional, it's like men are incredibly emotional.
Yes.
And you guys kind of agreed with each other because at the end there, I know you're making a joke, but you're being really honest. Like, who weren't all wars started by men?
Yeah.
Is like a clip that's on the internet from an interview. Like, aren't all wars started by men? I was like, yeah, pretty much.
Right.
Like they're like, well, what about the face that launched 1,000 ships? It's like we don't know if she was real.
Right. Yeah.
We don't even know.
And the argument is that was just the excuse in order to go to war. So that was that's even something else. If you want to get into that history lesson, but
also I heard
That's
a
old.
fascinating podcast about matriarchal societies. I mean, you can look at it in nature in the bonobos, right? They're a matriarchal society. But
elephants. Yeah.
there was a great podcast about matriarchal societies and how they're actually like quite peaceful and chill and whatever. And it's always one guy who comes in and he's like, wait a minute, I don't like this. And then it completely gets destroyed because the women are just, they're not that way. And of course, we're speaking in broad stereotypes here.
Yes, of course.
But it was fascinating.
Look as far.
It was Adam Conover.
Oh, Adam Conover.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Adam Conover and everybody. Adam ruins everything. Always great points he always makes on those.
He really does ruin a lot of things.
He does ruin
ruins
so many things. Yeah.
He really does.
Yeah.
But we come from a Hispanic background, and it's a very macho culture, and I see it all the time where like a kid falls down and they're not allowed to cry. They're not no, boys don't cry or whatever.
Walk it off.
Yeah, boys don't deal with things like this, right? Like you're the only emotion you are allowed to display is anger.
Yeah. In a system that you
In a
all
system that we
created by
created.
yourselves.
Yeah.
And if you're never allowed to cry as a child, you won't know how to cry when you're an adult because you've never realized that crying ends.
Yeah.
And you don't get to experience a full range of a good cry and then what happens at the end of that cry. So it's important to cry it out because on the other side of that is important, right? But we never get to do that.
Right.
I grew up in an Italian family, so this machismo you're talking about is not something that's what we'd had to deal with.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
Well, not to the same extreme, I don't think, but it was up there.
Yeah.
It was definitely up there.
So cry it out, everybody.
Cry it
if you
out,
need to
everybody. It's
cry
okay.
it
Just
out,
have
we
a cry
are
it
pro
out. Have a
crying,
cry. Let your kids
pro
cry.
therapy podcast.
Yes.
Cry it out.
Let your kids feel their feelings. They're human. Let them be human.
Is it not the manliest thing to cry?
I think so
to-
now. Yeah.
Look at that. Who's the actor right now who's literally getting role after role? He's in everything. He's in Creed 3. He's the new he's the new guy in the Marvel movies.
yeah. Jonathan
Jim-
Majors? Yeah.
Yeah,
Majors.
something like that.
Yeah.
That guy basically gets paid to cry on camera.
Yes.
Okay, okay. I don't mean to say this. Let me go back because I'm not trying to boil his whole career down to the man cries. But the first time we all saw him and we were like, "This guy's a great actor," is because he let the tears roll down.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
all I'm saying.
It's true. Yeah.
You ready
Okay.
to judge? Josh?
I'm ready to
All
judge.
right,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Okay. So you're gonna say stop.
I'll say stop. Stop.
Okay.
All right.
Category
So now,
is
this is between Allie and Anthony, the A's.
fake nails are a waste of money.
That's right. Fake nails.
Fake nails are a waste of money.
Great.
And then you pick the
Okay.
position because I obviously have stake in this
Got you.
one.
All right. So I am
So-
picking for Anthony. You
Okay.
have to disagree that fake nails are a waste of money. You are disagreeing
Okay.
that fake nails are a waste of money.
Okay.
And go.
There are a few things in this world that my wife asks that she doesn't really ask for. She doesn't do this for herself as much as she should. But I always say to her, I'm like, listen. She's like, oh, I broke a nail, or look, my nails are growing. I'm like, go get your nails done if that's what you want to do. If that's what you enjoy, I want you to do that. And she does. She loves it. She loves going and getting her nails done. I think it's important that that whoever you are, you feel good about yourself. And if having longer than natural nails makes you feel empowered, you feel good about that. I mean, look at me. I have a beard. This is an extension of my natural face,
Yeah.
right? Who am I to judge? This is not a waste of money. This is a perfect use of money. It's a great way for anyone, whoever you are. If you want to get fake nails, you get those fake nails. Having fake nails doesn't change the realness that is you.
Time. Great. Wow. That was perfectly timed, Anthony.
If anyone needs to hire someone to do ads for your fake nails, I think we've got a candidate here.
Yeah. Oh, and Anthony, you do voiceover stuff for like commercials and stuff, don't you?
I do. Yeah, sometimes. I haven't done it a lot. I did a lot of audiobooks. I did.
Okay.
I did a book called RV Living. I did another book on.
I don't know how I
Forex
knew that about
trading.
you, but I knew that about you, and it's one of my favorite things that I have ever learned.
I also did a book on male erotica, which is
Hot.
4 hours long.
Oh, wow.
Great.
Yeah.
That must have been fascinating to walk by in the hallway and hear that happening.
It was luckily I got to record at home, but honestly it was I had just started acting I was relatively new to acting, and I asked like my acting teacher, I'm like, should I do this? Because I really wanted to do voiceover work, and I had been like auditioning for all these different books, and then finally someone came back to me, and Lee Elwood is the writer of this book. It's a woman who writes these books. She's a very well-known author in that genre. So I was like, okay, it's kind of checking all the boxes here. I skimmed through.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's well written. Okay. And then my acting teacher was like, if you, the actor, are comfortable with it, then he said like there's that basically something like that. Like if you're comfortable, I was like, I'm comfortable with it.
That's
There were some
awesome.
tough moments in the book, but I had a good time with it. And honestly, I cut my teeth on that. I really did. Like I came out of that experience really knowing how to. Plus, I had to edit all the audio myself. Doing an audiobook is not a glamorous. Voiceover work is not glamorous at all.
No.
The voice is one small piece.
Right.
The voice. Yeah. So now you know.
Wow. There
But
you go.
The RV one is my favorite.
Ding, 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 ding. The more you know.
All right, Allie.
Okay, so
you have to agree that fake nails are a waste of money. And go.
So I encounter a lot of young people in my line of work, and many of these young people, young women mostly, have very long nails, and I have to watch them attempt to type on a keyboard with these nails, type on a phone with these nails. And it's painful to watch. It's all weird, like side tapping, and there's lots of just like, and it's not
Wonderful
not
for a podcast.
good. It's not a good. I don't feel like their hands are okay in that position.
Uh-huh.
In addition, there are many other functions that a person performs on a regular basis that I
Mhm.
wonder, how does one do that with nails?
Correct.
How do you scratch your eye, for example?
Ooh.
How do you pick your ear? How do you do other maybe down there functions? Like you need to take a number 2. How does that sort itself out? It's a waste of
Time.
money.
Time. All right, so now I have to judge this, which is very difficult because you both made excellent points.
Yeah.
Yeah, Allie, those are excellent points.
Yeah. Allie came at it from a very rational point of view.
I know.
And Anthony came at it from a very emotional point of view. I mean, I agree with Anthony.
Parts of minds.
You're right.
Right. I agree with Anthony that if the nails make you feel good, then you should get them and it's not
Yeah.
a waste of money.
I concede that.
But I also agree with you that it makes you're spending money on something that's going to make your life harder, essentially. Wow.
I will give you a hung jury if you need it.
God, I think it's just because
Hey, that's not how laws are passed,
I
okay?
know.
it's just because you both came at it from such a different angle. You both made excellent points.
I mean, there is an in between, right? You don't have to get them so long that you're not functional. You can get them
I guess that's true.
a
yeah.
normal length to where.
So all right,
can still
with that
function.
point, I have to say I agree with Anthony.
Okay,
So I'm voting in Anthony's favor.
that's fine.
Because you're
That's
right.
good.
Yeah, you're right. Because you can get nails that make you feel good, so they're not a waste of money, but they're also not so long that they are annoying and not functional.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going with
But
Anthony.
that is a good point about the going to the bathroom. I wonder about those things. I
I've
think about
always wondered,
that
man.
person with the really long nails. Like,
Yeah.
what is their everyday?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I was I was at a bar over Christmas, and the person who serves us nails were so long. I'm talking more than their own finger long.
Oh my God.
So it was like their finger and then another half.
Wow.
So long, all 10 fingers. And they couldn't even grasp anything. Like they grasped a menu, like
Oh.
it was fascinating.
Yeah.
It was a lot of I think I felt every feeling possible at the exact same time.
And have you seen the ones that have
And I
like
was just like,
accessories
this
on
cannot
them?
I think that's kind of cool, but like this cannot be how you exist in life. Like you're not able to function with nails that are longer than your own finger. It was wild. It was truly a wild experience. I hope that person felt great. I'm sure they felt great.
Yeah.
America.
No, I mean,
Good for
otherwise, why
them.
wouldn't they do it?
America.
It was actually Canada.
Oh, they're quickly catching up.
Yeah. Arguably
They're there.
freer but more expensive than America. All right. So that was I Dissent, and Anthony came out the ultimate winner on this one, winning 2. That was
Congrats.
congrats, Anthony. That was I Dissent by Buffalo Games.
And
We
we
love
played
Buffalo
this so long ago that we did not rate it. So we have a rating system here.
Yeah.
Where we rate the box, we rate the cards, and we rate the playability of the game.
And how much fun it was.
And how much fun it was. That's right. So we're going to let you rate it.
Sure.
So on a scale of a wet, soggy produce box in the back of a Publix to a beautiful, well-wrapped Tiffany box,
Yeah.
where does this, in your estimation, lie?
For me, I really like this game. I mean, is it everything? I think it's definitely not a wet produce box, and it's not a Tiffany box, but I don't know. It's got some really great opportunities for conversation. I think it's a great thing for if you're having a little local, like a little party at the house, and you want to just play a fun game. It's great, like at a bar or whatever. This is way better than the option I suggested, which was chess. I didn't know.
I was this close to playing with you, and now he's like, no, but I want to play too. Which I get. It's a
And also,
podcast.
I don't have a chessboard,
Yeah,
so
right.
that
Yeah, so that
hindered things.
hindered
a bit.
that.
And it would
but-
take both of your minds
Right.
to beat.
Also,
no.
you would say something
that
like
was a true
knight
fear.
to king's rook 8, and I'd be just, what?
That's
I have no idea what that means.
Knight to
Yeah, that's
K4.
true.
What?
Yeah, what? What's happening?
Okay, so I'm gonna say it's it would definitely be something I would keep at the house and pull out. I'm going to say Tiffany box.
Ooh,
Great.
Okay.
Two under a Tiffany box. Can we say that?
Yeah.
Two under.
Two under a
Yeah.
Tiffany box. Okay.
I'm getting. So what I heard from this was that basically this game would be about as great as attending a concert of the Lord and Taylor Escalator, Lord and Taylor. That was it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's like that
If you were-
level
Yeah.
of
Okay,
awesome.
if you were ironically going back in time to watch me go through that experience, yes. But if you were just going to experience that, no, I would disagree with that. But ironically, yes.
Yeah, ironically, always.
Yeah.
Always.
I like it because it's fun, but it's also like some of these conversations were important. Is it are gift cards a thoughtful gift? Are men more irrational than women? These are legit conversation starters.
Also, just in a very general sense, some people may not know what the deal is with the Supreme Court.
Right.
And so it would be great if people would like pick up this game and be like, Supreme Court, what is that? Let's
Yeah.
give it a goog. Why is it important?
Right.
How do we pick who goes on it?
We don't.
All of that stuff. Right. Exactly. We don't.
Yeah.
So
Can I say something about the Supreme Court?
Absolutely.
Not to get too. Can we all just? I'm just. We can all agree. We're all very, very mad, right? Like we're all. Like
Yes.
I never on Apocalypse, my Apocalypse bingo card.
Right.
This was not there.
Right.
The Supreme Court systematically reversing 50 years of Roe v. Wade and
Mhm.
everything else and just stripping women of their rights was not something I saw coming. But I also didn't vote for the people that did that.
Right.
So
it's
I did what I could. And I'm
Right.
seeing things now where people are like, isn't this terrible? And I'm like, yeah, it's terrible. But the real conversation we need to be having is those of you that didn't vote
Right.
need to vote.
yeah,
Right,
yeah,
right,
yeah.
right,
No,
right,
I
yeah.
totally know what you mean.
But like
yeah.
your local elections, I'm talking your city commissioners.
Yeah. Right.
This is going to impact you more
Mhm.
than the presidency ever will. However,
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
we're seeing now that it does. But like when you go downtown and it's like $7 to park, you're like, what the hell is going on? That's because you missed a city council meeting, brother.
Right.
You need to go back to the city council. You need to make sure you're voting for the right people at city
Mhm.
council, and you need to know what's going on in your local city.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
Thank
I completely agree. And
Absolutely
this is an understanding I've definitely come to later on in life as I'm starting to do like have a lot of these conversations with my students and just tell them like, look, this is the world that we're living in. Like, love it, hate it, however you feel about it. This is how you can fight for whatever it is that you believe in.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
You can
Whichever
vote,
side.
but also you can do many other things if you can't vote. Because that's also part of what's going on in Miami and the state of Florida is people can't vote for
Right.
a lot of different reasons. And so
Yeah.
what are the other ways that they can make sure that they're creating the world they want to live in?
There's a
Well,
saying:
they can
small
help.
changes lead to big changes, and the same is true for, local government and city governments and stuff like that too.
Vote.
Yeah. Vote.
So much good advice today,
Yeah.
everybody.
Thank you, Anthony. We've loved having you on here, and you have
Is it
your own
over?
podcast as well. Yeah. Right.
Oh no, I do. I have a podcast. It's called Other Than Improv.
Mm-hmm.
And I interview improvisers about other aspects of their life. So if they have an interesting story or they do have an interesting job, or a hobby, whatever it might be, just anything outside of improv, I like to talk to improvisers about that because improvisers are interesting people. They lead interesting lives. And that has been proven by the podcast. Go listen.
That's
it's on
awesome.
Spotify.
Spotify.
Other than
awesome.
improv on Spotify. Great. So much. Thank you so
My
much.
next guests will be Allie and Dash.
Yes.
Wow.
You heard it here first. Anthony, thank you so
You
much
have
for
time.
joining us, man. We loved having you on. It's so great, and this was a great game to play with you too.
I had a good time.
Thank you.
Yeah, I had a great time.
I had so much fun. This was great. You guys are awesome, and you're amazing improvisers. Seriously, guys, these two are truly the best. You have to watch their live show. It's so comfortable. So
Oh.
comfortable.
I love that. It's comfortable.
It's comfortable. Yeah,
yeah.
that's a great describer.
Thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
for saying that.
Thank you.
You're so good at improv that you make me want to quit improv. That's how good you are. And it makes me
No,
so
no,
mad
that's
most of the
Not
time.
tr- Could you tell the voice in my head that? Because
Yeah.
he's got very different opinions. He disagrees with.
No, you're great. And
Thank
like
you.
even on like Instagram and stuff like that, when you post your tips on like, hey, do you want to be better at improv? You should try this. Like even those tips are things that sometimes I've heard it before. Sometimes I'm hearing it for the first time, but every time you say one of those, it's like, God, he's right. That would make it better. Like, yeah, like it's just a different way of thinking of things. So yeah, man, it's improv is beautiful, I think,
It's
in
beautiful.
every shape and form.
Whether
Sometimes.
it's at the bottom of an escalator at a Lord and Taylor or
Yeah.
on the most beautiful stage in the world,
Yeah.
it's a once in a lifetime
a corral made of
experience.
gold.
A corral made of gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Go check out Anthony's podcast, Other Than Improv. And thank you for joining us again. And we will see you next week.
Bye.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Now we'd love to hear from you.
You can visit playdatepod.us to watch our videos,
Access our episode library,
find out more about our brand of quality, clean comedy.
and contact us with any questions or comments.
Improvisers love audience suggestions, so make sure you visit playdatepod.us.
And the podcast you just heard was a production of Society Circus Players.
If you like what you heard today, please rate, review, subscribe, and share it with a friend.
And finally, if life's a circus, we're the clowns.
This is so here it looks like I'm wearing it.
I know.
It's a collar. But like does it look like that?
But
on
it also looks like this is wearing it as
Yeah.
a collar. It's very cute.